Hello, everybody. Welcome to our first live stream. For those that have had their head in the sand, I'm Andy, and I'm trying to run this Woolard Enterprises. And I just want to give you an update. I don't know if you're following me or watching on YouTube or Facebook, but either way, you should be able to post comments, and we will try to answer any questions you have. But I'm going to go over a few things first and kind of get it lined up. And if I say anything confusing, just ask and I'll try to clarify it. I want to share my screen here and try to explain a little bit of what's going on here. If I can find it. It's not giving me the option to pull up the one I am trying to show you here. I've got about 50 windows open, so bear with me 1 second here. I think that's it. There we go. All right. Any video I ever do, I'm trying to show you where we're at on the stocks, and not a lot has changed, but we didn't sell the Al Mansour Bank like we thought we would here 2 or 3 weeks ago. The Al Mansour, because we already had 100 million, this Al Mansour pharmaceutical, they were going to allow us to get as many as we already had at 1 dinar per. Well, as you can see, the prices, and I can't see that very well, so I'm going to expand my screen over here. You can see we had, it's currently at $1.43, 1.43 dinar, and we're going to have an extra 100 million, so we'll have 200 million here. So some of this is not completely accurate while they work all that in, but yeah, we're still sitting at just under 2 billion dinar in our portfolio. But rather than sell the Al Mansour Bank like we were going to, we're going to use some of the dividends that we got from Asia sale. So they're getting all that worked out, and these numbers will be changed quite a bit shortly. But this is our account. This is what we have over there. And then I want to change this and bring up our page. Let's see here. Nope, not that one. Guys, bear with me. This is all still very new to me. I should be able to jump between screens pretty easy, but I'm a little on the slower side here. And I had all this set up a little while ago, and I had to get to doing stuff, and I moved stuff around. And all right, so we are, there we go. All right, no. All right, that's not what I wanted. Man, I am sorry. I knew I'd mess up, but I didn't know I'd mess up this bad or take this long. There we go. That's the one I wanted to share. All right. So as of now, this is the Woolard Enterprises, WoolardENT.com website. We currently have 648 investors, a total of 13,331 blocks. I believe it's 333, but this is very close anyway. So this tells you our current asset value, which was in the video or in the link I just showed you. Shows the current value of each block. And one of the things I want to go over with you before I forget while I'm here, I've had a few say they can't find the links that they need. And if you'll scroll to the bottom of the website, you'll see the beneficiary form, the W-9, need to change any information, and forms received. And forms received just is a list of the forms that we have received from a particular investor. Nothing on this site has anybody's name on it. I am not going to post any names. There's no account. I get questions pretty regular about how do I access my account. It's not online. Your account is your latest receipt. It will show every purchase that you've made, every investment you've made. And I don't want anybody having any issues because my site gets hacked if it were to get hacked. So no information is available about any of you. But this particular page will show you, some have done the tax form, but not the beneficiary, et cetera, and back and forth. But this will show you, all you got to do is scroll down in numerical order. We'll show you your investor number, and you'll be able to see if you've submitted your forms or if we've received it and recorded it. And note this date right here, I will update it. I hadn't in a while, but it should be updated now. And I'll try to do this at least monthly. So if you send me your W-9 or a beneficiary form or whatever, and I get it tomorrow, it sits back here until it's like, okay, I can do these now. I can catch it up. And sometimes that gets away from me. So I'm not real accurate, but if you look at the date, if you see that the date has changed and it's been updated past the time I should have received yours and it should be recorded by that date, definitely reach out to me. But don't send it today and tomorrow ask me why you can't find it on the site, because it's just not going to be there. So I had something else. Let me go back to the screen here. Figure out where I was. Okay. Like I said, we'll always show our latest video. Most of you should be pretty familiar with the website itself. The beneficiary form. You do not need a beneficiary form if your account is in the name of a business or a trust. It doesn't do any good. Those two can't pass. So this is only for individual accounts. It's not a requirement, but if I don't have one and something happens to you, you're giving it back to the group. And some of you, I've gotten word from some of you that that's what you want to do, and that's fine. But if you want to leave it to family members or to a charity or to a trust or anything else on your passing, then you need to get that in, because none of us are guaranteed tomorrow. So if you want to get that in to me, that's fine. If you want to wait until there's a reason to do it, in other words, until there is a change, you can do that too. I will be reaching out to each and every one of you individually when there is a rate change. When that change happens over there, we're not immediately cashing in. You might have dinar that you can cash in, but as far as the Woolard Enterprises and the stock exchange, what's going to happen is, whether it's weeks, months, or whatever, as we get dividends, then we will pull it out. So we haven't even been notified lately of any other dividends being paid. Al Mansour Bank, they're having issues collecting our dividends from them as a whole, not just Woolard Enterprises. But that bank is playing some games, I guess. I don't know what their purpose is, but they're not trusting the exchanges, which are the brokerage houses, for fear that they might take those dividends away from their clients. And it's a big mess, but they will let us know as soon as those dividends are available. So the W-9, you don't have to worry about it now. As I said, we'll have plenty of time. I'll get in touch with each one of you. I'll be able to say, look, I don't have a beneficiary form. Did you want to complete one? Okay, I don't have a W-9, or I do have, whatever it may be. But I'll let you know that is the most important thing to get to me at the time, because when we do get a payment, then I have to hold your funds until I have that form. But there'll be plenty of time between the time there is a rate change and the time that we are actually paying out funds. Let me double check and make sure I got all that. Yeah, we are 2 years and 2 weeks into Woolard Enterprises, and we have stopped any new members from joining us. We did that, I don't remember how far back. And but yeah, the website is my name, ent.com. Let me post it here. And if what we're going to do is, at the end of this year, December 31st will be the last day to buy blocks, period, with an exception. But yeah, as far as you just sending money for blocks, December 31st is going to be it. I'm not going to, there's too many that want out, too many that are causing issues. And I think it's best that we just stop accepting blocks. That gives you, September, October, November, and December to buy blocks if you want. And I'm not doing it to punish anyone, but what we will do in the event, and if somebody says, I want out, they've confirmed they're getting out, they've got 10, 15, 20 blocks, whatever they may have, I will make those available as a first come, first give, the first payments that come in, then we will sell the blocks that way. And I'm going to get into a little bit about selling your blocks in just a moment as well. But this will eliminate, not completely, but it will eliminate a lot of the issues. Where I'm having issues is people that want out. I don't want you to stay in this. If you're not comfortable, or you're tired of waiting, or you hit financial hardship, whatever the reason is, what the reason is none of my business. But if you do want out, there's a few things you've got to understand, and I will confirm it through email, because I'm going to send you a statement saying that you must respond that you understand this. And if most of you are not going to get out, but I want those that are thinking about it. I don't want to force anybody to stay in this group, but it's expensive to get out, because you're only going to get $80 per block. You paid me $110 or $115 per block. And if you live in Australia or Canada, you may have paid $125 a block. So you've paid that much, but you're not getting any of the fees back, period. And you're taking a 20% hit. This was intended as a possible long-term investment. There are no ROIs coming in. There's nothing. Your money is just gone until we have something coming in from the dividends. And I just need some of you to understand, because there are a few that seem very shocked, and you think that you should have made some money by now. And that's not the way this works. This is a very different, unique type of investment. Your money, you invested in us. And what I do with that money is I invested as a trust. I invested that money into the Iraqi Stock Exchange. Nobody else has invested it. Well, Rudy, I mean, I know you have, but most of you don't have an account, or you're not involved in the Iraqi stock market directly in any way whatsoever. So anytime there's dividends or anything to do with the funds over there, it's Woolard Enterprises. Now, when Woolard Enterprises pulls any of those funds due to a change in the rate, then Woolard Enterprises will turn around and give you your share of what we take in as profit from our investment in something else. I know it's confusing for some people, but there are no dividends. You aren't building up. If I know in some videos, I will tell you, yeah, each block is worth 108. And so I think it's gotten up to close to $120 per block. And I mean, it's going to vary because it's a stock market, but that doesn't mean that your 100 is now worth 120. I'm just giving you some information on where your investment with us sits between us and the stock exchange. So if you want out ahead of time, it's only what you put into it. Even if it was at $300 a block, you only have $100 invested. So you're only going to get back $80 no matter what. This is for us to profit from the dividends. And that's the only time that you would grow in value. Now, if you want out after a rate change, and you're welcome to read that contract to make sure I'm telling you this correctly. If you want out, you can tell us, I want out. At that point, we take the value of the market. We divide that by the number of blocks. So if the market, let's say our total investment, is if it was dollar to dollar, so that's roughly $2 billion. And you've got 1% of the shares of the blocks that we have. So you've got 133.33 shares. So you got 1% of the blocks. It's a $2 billion total net asset value over there. Then what I do, you say I want out. I'm not waiting for dividends anymore. I don't care. Just give me my money. So basically what you're doing is you're taking what would have been dinar and cashing that in instead of what would be far more than cashing in dinar, but it's your choice. At that point, you have to give us the time to acquire the funds because I don't want to sell any of the market over there. I want that to stay. So we've got to figure out. Now you get 1% of that $2 billion. Okay, 1% of 2 billion, 20 million. So if you owned 1%, then we have to come up with 75% of that value. So we have to come up with $15 million to pay you off. You're done. You're out of there. Thank you. And we just bought those shares or those blocks from you for far more. But now we're going to collect the dividends on that. We're going to collect the dividends. Woolard Enterprises has increased its stake by 1%. I'm not sure that I'm explaining that right, but it's, I get in these arguments with some people. Most of you I never hear from. Some of you, it's always extremely positive. And there's just those few. And I don't mind it because I know it can come as a shock because they didn't pay attention to what they were signing. And part of that is, let's see if I can get the right one up here again. Bear with me one moment here. I should have closed out some of these windows. All right. I think this is the one I want. All right. So when you first signed up for Woolard Enterprises, there was a little bit of writing there, and it had the agreement that you needed to click on and read the agreement. And then you had down below all that, you had to put in all your information, the number of shares you wanted, all of that. Then we had some individual check boxes, and that you understand the agreement that was linked there. Bear with me one second here. Okay. But you understood that you weren't purchasing stocks, that you're investing in Woolard Enterprises. There were several things. One key I've already passed up, and I'll mention it now that I came across it. This annual fee. No longer am I charging an annual maintenance fee? And this was for those that were in it after December 13th of 2020, I believe. Uh, we added an annual maintenance fee to those users. I couldn't justify doing that any longer. We stopped it several months ago. Some of you paid for year two, but that'll be it. The ones that haven't paid, you don't owe it. I can't justify sitting here going, okay, I've charged you $345 for 3 blocks, so I've sent 300 over to Iraq, and so I've made $45 off of you. Now pay me another 25 so you can sit and wait another year. It just didn't sit right with me. It was a suggestion that I took and ran with initially back in December, almost 2 years ago, and it just didn't seem right. So there is no more annual fee. But let me get back to what I was talking about. You put in all your information down here just before you click the signature panel is the refund, and that refunds may be issued at 80% of investment. No refund of any fees paid. So I can't help you being upset at what we're doing when I told you up front. Okay. I've tried to be very transparent through all of this. And the reason I say that is I went through a real hassle with someone. So I want to make sure that anybody else that chooses to leave, and I am not holding you back, but if you choose to get out, and I thought, well, if I mention this, it may prompt people to want to get out. It's a decision you have to make on your own. I still believe in everything that I have, everything that I am, that something is going to happen over there. I have zero concern that something is not going to happen. I just don't know when. Okay. Like all of us, we have no clue. The talk over there, there's never been as much talk about a rate change, whether that's going back to the 2020 rate, whether that's going back to the 1978 rate or whatever it is. We don't know yet, and we won't know until they actually do something. All the talk, all the articles mean little to nothing until we see the action. We've been here and talk. I've been in this over 10 years, and there's been much talk, but never before have I seen from their CBI, from different spokespeople, from all these different places, and the analysis and the studies and all of that. There's been seemingly a focus on the dinar rate. So I feel like something is up. Whether it's good for us or not, I have no idea. But things are definitely happening to me at a faster pace, I guess, or there's just a lot more news out there about it. Whether that leads to anything, I don't know if we're going to be waiting months. I don't know if we're going to be waiting years. I just do not know. Nobody does. And until they put out an actual rate change, there's one guy that, if y'all, I don't know how many of you watch him, it's Nader from the Middle East. I don't know how real he is, if he's just doing it for clicks or doing it for what he might be doing it for. He seems, in the past, he always seemed anti dinar rate change. And then suddenly he's saying, guys, it's happening. So I don't know if he's got any real info, if he does it to grow his base. I don't know. But there is a lot more talk than there used to be. And I don't want to push on that because I don't want to encourage anybody to add to their position. That's not the intent of what I'm trying to tell you. But yeah, so you agreed that the refund, that's where I was going with that. And we're just going to keep day by day. I hope it's sooner than later, but we just don't know. All right, it says Saudi Arabia looks like it would join BRICS. And I think Iraq will follow suit if that happens. Yeah, there's progress being made. There's more and more talk about the WTO. all the talk is good to hear. It's positive, it's reinforcing. But for me, it's just like, just show me the money. Let's move on with this deal. So it after 10 years, it's starting to get old, and it's like, haven't I heard this before? But it doesn't derail me from believing and knowing. I know how I got into dinar in the first place. I know it was God led. There is no way it wasn't. So I don't know. I can't get second guess God's timing. This will happen when it's supposed to happen. If it had happened when I first got into it, the things that I have grown from and grown into are phenomenally different. So all I can think is, okay, thank you, God, for preparing me for what's about to happen, and just wait for that to happen. That's as far as I can. I agree. It seems likely. Yeah, I mean, and you have to, especially in dinar. Uh, the news on the dinar, yeah, I just don't. I don't share a lot of news because you don't know what's true and what isn't. We have links on the website to different various news outlets. I would say don't depend on me to tell you what's going on. You go and investigate on your own. And I don't want to be the one to give you news that may spark something in you to buy 10 more blocks, 50 more blocks, one more block, and whatever I'm telling you about doesn't come to fruition, and you're going, he suckered me out of another $100. I just don't want to do that. I don't want to be responsible for that. So any news, I get news, I read it. Thank you, Andrew. You share a lot with me. Others do as well. It's not that I don't want to see it. I just, I don't hold on to every word, and I know they don't either. But it's interesting to keep up with the progress that they appear to be making over there. And I think every day they're making progress. We don't know what that catalyst is. We just don't know. People will say it's got to happen in at between second and third quarter. It's got to happen at the year. It's got to do this. It's got to do that. They don't know. Nobody knows. So when you hear somebody say this has to happen or that has to happen first, they're just talking. Okay. I could sit here and tell you 10 things that's got to happen before dinar can happen. How would I know that? Show me in writing where it says that. Show me where it has to be that way. Don't tell me it has to be that way. So I suggest that anybody just do their own thing and come up with your own conclusion. Uh, so let me see if there's any questions. Uh, I won't even say what I think about Frank. I think he's a. I'm sorry, but I think he is a bona fide fraud, and I could be wrong. Tell us that story. I don't know what story you're talking about. Thank you. I have gotten much better at staying grounded. Uh, it's well, some of you. I mean, I've spent hours talking to some of you, and man, I would get so excited when this. Oh, do you realize what this means? Do you realize what that means? Well, it obviously didn't mean what I thought it did. And I've gotten much better at not getting too excited. I want to be excited. I want to just scream and holler that this is about to happen. But uh, the past 10 years has proved me wrong so far. So, Benny, I agree with you 100%. Most are. Yeah, it's, you know, oh, tell us how I got, oh, okay. My sister was in Stephen's Ministries for quite a while. and she got off into a different type of ministry or something. Anyway, she wasn't with Stephen Ministry, but she had formed some friendships, and it had been about probably 10 years, and she was at an event, and another Stephen's Ministry person uh, saw her, and they kind of clicked and talked for a little bit, and him and his wife talked for a second, and he turned to her and he said, Leila, God has told me to tell you to share something with you. May I share this with you? And he started telling her about Dinar. So she wouldn't share it with anybody. She thought, and she bought quite a bit of Dinar, and she did not want to tell us about it, her family about it, because she didn't want them to laugh at her throwing money away. But she was very set. She prayed on it for days, and she ended up buying in. And about 2 weeks after she bought, she felt the Spirit tell her to let me know about it, and she let me know about it, and it's just worked. I didn't initially, for years, I didn't share with anybody. I just, I'm supposed to buy this. I'm supposed to have it sitting here, and then things started coming to me. I would start having very vivid dreams what I was supposed to do with this money once this happened, and it's evolved over time. I, I was standing in church and can't remember what the conversation was, and the church, the pastor was up there talking, and we were all standing, and he was saying something about the building. They were in part of this massive building, and they were talking. Hopefully, they could, if somebody got out, there were businesses, dentist office, all kinds of things. But they said, yeah, if they do, they're going to try to lease that part and grow their church even more and all this. And he said something, and right here, I heard, yes, and you're paying for it. And I turned, I thought, well, why would they say that? And there was nobody directly behind me at all. And I never even told my pastor that this is what happened. And then probably 2 months later, his wife was talking about something, and they were talking about their house and something. He said, and he said, another voice right here, and y'all can think I'm crazy all you want. I know what I heard. Uh, but it says, you'll take care of their house too, or something like that. And I thought, what does he mean too? And then I had to think back that I'm going to buy this building that they're in. Now I'm going to pay for their house. And I thought, well, if it comes out the way it's supposed to, that it's going to be a drop in the bucket. So I mean, I've held on. There's been many other things happening, but I just believe, I don't want to get too preachy, but I just believe that God is preparing me. And had this happened even 2 or 3 years ago, I wouldn't have carried out what God intended me to carry out with the funds. I'm I don't have a champagne lifestyle. I'm never going to buy that big sport or the big fancy sports car. No Lamborghini for me. No gold line toilets or whatever it is. I don't have that in me. I don't have that. I don't want that lifestyle. Yes, of course, we would be living better, but outside of very minor things, I am giving everything away. We can't take it with us. I want enough so that if something happened to me, my wife would not have to worry the rest of her life. I figure she's going to outlive me by 20 years. So we figured out, okay, we need all of this together. Then I need to have this much set aside, drawing interest, doing whatever, whether I'm here 5 years, 10 years, or 20 more years, that can be drawn the interest. I know without a doubt, no matter what happens, you don't have to worry. You're never going to have to worry about where food is coming from. You're never going to have to worry about being able to not help somebody that needs the help. Anyway, the discussions that I've had are phenomenal. That's all I want. The rest of it, and I can get into why I'm showing you cryptocurrencies and things like that. This was not happening at when I wanted it to happen. It wasn't happening as fast as I wanted it to happen. And I know it's his timing, but it doesn't mean that I have to sit back and just wait for it. And if I can get what I want to do going a little faster. So back when I was with the other guy, there was talk about, how we were going to do these encampments and do all. We had a lot of things going. It wasn't refined. And as time has gone on, it became clear to me that I needed to help widows. And so I invested probably starting sometime in July, August. I started buying a little crypto, just what I could off of Coinbase and one other place. So I had token. I thought, well, if any of these ever really take off, now I've got the money to at least get started on what I need to be doing. And then in November, I get maybe right at the end of October. One guy here knows exactly what I'm talking about because he's the one that got me involved and asked me about certain tokens. This is our out. This is our way to get the charity portion going. So I'll buy this crypto. Then I started buying more and more and more. Well, then all of crypto just tanked. Most of my holdings were down. If I had a really good token, it might only be down 80%. But I kept buying. Just something that you need this one. You need this one. You've got to get into this one. There was something pushing me. So pretty much the last two that I have purchased, one has gone up over 20-fold. One has gone up about 7 times, I think, 6 or 7 times. And I'm not at a place where I'm going to sell it yet. The others, some of them have actually come back and they're in the green from where I purchased. And I was telling somebody about everything that was going on, and they said, it's all going to happen at once. This has been a few months back. I said, what do you mean it's all going to happen at once? He said, all your crypto's going to hit, the dinar is going to hit, everything's going to hit at once, and God's just going to have a good laugh at you trying to figure out now what you're going to do. So, nobody knows. Nobody can second guess, but I know that I know what I want to do with this money. So I know there are people that inherently don't trust, and that's me. I mean, I've been, from my bounty hunting days to working in this different fraud, working in private investigation, to being a fraud analyst with the company I'm working for, which I just realized that was still on. Everything I deal with the negative. I deal with thieves. I deal with con artists, especially in crypto. Now that I've started my own, it's been so now it keeps me from trusting anybody. So I know when people look at Woolard Enterprises, is it a scam? Have I lost my money? And I can't help but understand why you're hesitant. So I just hope I could come across and let you know it's not my goal to take a dime from anybody. I'm never going to need that. I don't have any desire to hurt anybody in that way. I can't promise you what the dinar is going to do. I cannot. There's nothing I can do about what happens on that end. We can try to shift and do things with the stocks to get the best bang for our buck. But as far as the processes and things like that on my end, I can assure you got nothing to worry about. On their end, and I'm not saying it as anything that would be deceitful or dishonest, but we just don't know. We don't have that guarantee, and that's why it is a high risk investment. And I don't think anything's ever going to happen as far as anything crooked. I think because of the different visions that I've had, because of the conversations, because of so many factors, I truly believe that this is going to happen, and it's not in the distant future at all. I promise you that? No. But I just think too many things have happened, and too many things have put me in a position completely opposite of where I was just a year or two ago. And so much has come together, and I've had so many discussions with so many people, not about dinar, but about other things that have led me to believe, yes, this is what this is for. This is what I am supposed to be doing. So I just believe with everything that I've got that we're we're good as far as this investment goes, in that nobody on the Iraqi side is going to hurt us in any way. I think this blessing is coming. I don't have any other way to try to put that through. Let me see here. Oh, absolutely. Yes. It's been a while since we talked about that. The Give me a week or two, and then it may be a couple of months, but once the dinar has changed value, and it may be to where a lot of people aren't going to be able to afford to do anything until they get uh, the funds from Iraq. So I don't know how we'll do this, but yes, I want to lease out a conference center at a hotel or somewhere near a hotel, invite everybody that wants to come. We'll do 2 or 3 days. I want to set up, it's going to be more of a celebration, but I also want to set up people that can help you. Many have never had money. I've never really had money, but there's a lot of sharks out there that are looking for anyone with money to deceive you out of it. I mean, Bernie Madoff comes to mind. So we want to do things with financial planners from various industries. Maybe it's attorneys. We've got to try to plan, and it's almost impossible because you don't know how long. So it's pretty tough to start planning ahead of time. But I have several different industries that I want to reach out to some people and be there to coach, uh, just a variety of things. It's going to be a big conference, is what it's going to be, but it's going to be strictly voluntary as far as which things you attend, booths. What we're going to try to set up a very nice party, for lack of a better word. It's I want people to learn, but I also want to celebrate that it's finally happened. Uh, and that just hit me on something that I haven't told you again, and I may have said it in the past. I'm sure I did. If you are planning on setting up a business or a trust or some kind of a tax shelter, there is absolutely nothing illegal about avoiding taxes. Anything you can do to avoid paying taxes is legal. It's illegal to evade taxes. So anything that you can come up with that would help you reduce your tax burden. So some of you may say, don't send me anything until I tell you, or I have this set up, or I have that set up. And I'm going to work with everybody that wants to do that. Once we get the funds over here, by then you will have already let me know. But because I'll be in touch with each one of you, and we'll discuss it at that time. But yeah, if I get the funds in and you aren't ready, then you can just say, hold those funds for me. And when you're ready, we'll get you that check. So we're going to work with everybody on that end. But the party is 100% going to happen. that's, I've yet to see a contract, so I don't know if that's a fact or not. They talk about this contract is in a different rate in that contract. Show me the contract. Let me dissect that contract. Then I'll put some stock into it. Until then, it's just somebody else talking. Absolutely. Sadly, the reason that our numbers have dropped as far as the holders is that we have lost a few members, and they're thankfully the benefit they set it up, or some did. They've had the beneficiary form into us, and we'll we'll take care of their families as they requested. But yeah, if just same here, if something happens to me, I've got a contingency plan, and nothing is going to happen to Woolard Enterprises. And I got somebody with the same vision, or wants to see my vision come to fruition, is already helping me immensely, and they'll be able to take care of them along with everybody that's already invested. So should something happen to me, it's no reason to panic for the group. Y'all are still going to be taken care of. That's awesome. Yeah, solder's our hope. I truly believe that, to actually push to get something done. Yeah, I don't want to get too political. I think there's a lot more of a reason for this happening. And everybody says poor Ukraine, poor Ukraine. That's the most corrupt country other than the U.S. there is in the world. Awesome, Helen. You do some amazing work. I keep up with you, and I'm proud that you're in this, and I cannot wait. Yes, you will. You will definitely be helped. Thank you very much. I think Swift is on the way out. So uh, I truly believe that in the future, Swift is a slow process compared to like XRP and their payment, or Ripple's payment protocols. And so I think more and more, I mean, there's already thousands using the server, or maybe hundreds. Ripple is a cryptocurrency, but it's primarily for banks to transfer, and it's done in seconds. I mean, fractions of seconds. So the Swift system is going to be outdated. It might be here 5 years. It might be here 10 more years, but the Swift system itself is is going to fade away. It's going to become obsolete. And my guess, I'm not saying that officially. Absolutely, it's just the right thing to do. I mean, anybody doing things for the right reason wants to help others. Yeah. Oh, every day. And I don't pray. I guess it's still considered prayer, but I have conversations, and he puts thoughts in my head, and it yeah, me and God have a good thing going. It reminds me of a song from the Storyteller. Can't think of his name now. I just went blank. But Tom T. Hall. Me and Jesus, we got a good thing going. Have I considered any other purchases, such as when we got into Babylon Hotel? Uh, the hard part is we don't have anywhere close to the funds coming in that we once did have. In fact, I don't even think I've sent a wire this year. So we're into 8 months into the year. I had sent quite a bit over uh, in December. I did it right before the end of the year. So it wasn't money that had to be sent over. It was just my money that I sent, so that should anything happen, you suddenly buy 50 blocks, I got you covered if the rate changed that next day. So my money was over there, and I didn't give myself blocks. It's just kind of in limbo. And as I take money in here, then it lessens and lessens and lessens. We haven't had the money to send over to build any more into it yet. I think that's coming probably in the next month or two. I'm thinking I want to send more over because we're getting down to where I need to. But yeah, I can consider it, and I've talked to our brokers over there, and I've asked them that uh, we've got what, seven. We've only gotten dividends from three of them. Do we want to keep hanging on to these stocks that aren't paying dividends? So whatever it is, I want it to be a dividend stock like IBSD or TASC, something, because we're not doing this just to buy stocks. We're doing this so we get a return every year on those dividends. For example, what did I say? 13,331 shares. If we had pulled out, if there had been a rate change and Asia Cell, we'd gotten $133 million in dividends. I don't know what it would be by the time it got to us, their fees and stuff, but still $133 million split 13,000 ways. So what is that? Over $1,000. I'm trying to do the math in my head and I'm getting lost, but at least 1,000, if not 10,000 per block. So you got 10 blocks, $10,000 that cost you $1,000. You just made 10 times your money on one dividend for 1 year. I don't really want to put anything into any stock that's not going to add to that. We want dividends. We naturally want some growth stocks in there as well. But where do and I'll get with our brokers and say, here, this is what we're looking at. This is what we want to do. What is our best option? What are the best stocks you can offer me at this time? And if, I've had him say, you want to put more into Asia Cell. It's the one stock that pays $1 for every share you have, and it's done it for at least 4 years that I'm aware. So we know next year it's $133 million. If we could build that to 200 million, imagine having $200 million coming to us each year and splitting between however many people, however many blocks. I got to weigh that. It's not out of the question, though. I would definitely consider any stock that I think is going to be the best for us as a group. Let's see what that says. It's written real small over here, so when I put it up here, I can read it better. Silver crypto, I'm not sure what that means. Oh, dinar, silver, and crypto, maybe. Okay. Yeah, gold and silver, you're never going to get wealthy. The only way to get rich with gold or silver is to be rich when you buy it. But it's a hedge. It's going to be, if our economy crashed and you could buy goods, our dollar was absolutely worthless. You would still be able to buy goods with gold and silver. So it's a hedge against inflation. And Lord knows they're trying to destroy this economy. So who knows when silver and gold start playing a much bigger part in our economy. Uh, Nasar is a complete farce. I don't know why people still hang on to that. Uh, yeah, Gyra token. I don't know if I'm sure y'all are aware that I did start a token. I've talked about it enough. Uh, that is used. I meant to finish my story earlier, but waiting on all these other tokens to do something, I, I could start my own token. So July 1st, we launched Gyra token, and most stocks, granted, there's not as many buys and sells, but most stocks will do like this, then they do like this, then they eventually build back up, they go back down. Gyra has just steadily increased in value. It's just been amazing. And I'm going to try to see. I don't know if it's pulling up. I think it's not pulling up all my pages here because I have too many windows open. Let me see if I can. It's not the one, but it is one that I can at least share. I don't know if it'll pull the. Yeah, we've been very very happy with this is our Gyra chart. This is when we started. Always, any token, you're going to have people buy in early, watch it go up, then they sell. But after that initial day, uh, it has just steadily increased. And we're up right about 800%. The cool part, and I know several of you have gotten frustrated because it is truly a process and it takes patience and a lot of figuring out. I know one, she finally got in, but it just, it can almost be aggravating and angering what it takes to get to buying dinar. And because we're on the Binance Smart Chain, yeah, you've got to set you up a wallet, then you've got to go in and buy. You've got to get on an exchange, buy your BNB, then you got to send your BNB to your wallet, then you got to transfer it to Gyra token. It's a nightmare. If after you've done it a couple of times, it's very easy. It's just so many steps. But next week, week after next, for those that can't stand all the process, we should have the ability to go to gyratoken.com, which is our token website, and you will be able to hit to buy Gyra token, put in your debit card, credit card, whatever, and purchase Gyra token. As long as you got a wallet, you still have to set up your wallet and everything. But yeah, it's going to be almost a one-step process rather than 6 or 8 steps. So definitely keep an eye on Gyra Token website if you're interested at all. I'm not trying to push it. The Marines definitely teach you patience. Yeah, we can only wait. We all, I think, you don't appreciate the wins until you've had a few losses, or you won't appreciate it as much. I actually have 3 people lined up. Uh, I don't want to say who it is right now. I want to let them maintain their privacy. And if I told you who it was, then not you necessarily individually, but somebody could seek them out. Start, and I don't want them to regret stepping in my shoes should something happen. So I'm gonna respectfully not tell you who I have lined up, and I hope you understand that the reasoning behind it. I'm gonna try to get through because I apologize. I just needed to ask that for you. I'm not sure what question you asked. I'm sorry. I know you talked about a plan with that. I did. We did. I definitely. If what I'm talking about now is what you're talking about, absolutely. Because I hope for the best and plan for the worst, and I've tried every scenario. I mean, I've got 2 people that could walk in here and take my life from me if they wanted to, but that's how much I trust them, and they are going to. They will decide or work together on making sure everything goes smoothly because they're not only going to be taking the Woolard Enterprise stuff, they're going to have access to literally quadrillions of dinar. Uh, every I've got 20 some odd different tokens and things like that. They've got access to every bank account, and they actually they could access it right now, I think, but there's not any chance whatsoever. I don't even know if somebody held a gun to their head and said you're gonna do this and take his whatever. I don't know that it would happen even then. That's how sure I am. That's how much I trust them. So you're in good hands no matter what happens to me. Wow, that's pretty incredible. It could be each, and she's asking, will the dividends be paid out twice a year? Like Asia Sale pays dividends once a year, and I'm pretty sure all of the tokens that do pay out dividends, they pay out once a year. They have a general assembly, an annual general assembly meeting, and it's the same thing as our annual stockholders meeting. So they do what they do and decide what they're going to give out and do all that, and they only do that once a year. But it could be 3, 4, 5, 6 times a year based on the different stocks that we have. They make each one that pays us dividends, unless I know that they're going to pay out really close together within a week or two. I would just have them send it once. But if need be, or if it's going to be a month, 2 months between, yes, I'm going to say send me those dividends, and we're going to distribute that. And it could be a month later we get another. Some are not ever going to be as big, just simply because of the number of shares we've got and the value of those stocks. But yeah, my to me, I think our biggest one is going to be Asia Sell, unless things dramatically change. But the others, that's going to be your big lump sum payment, and then the others are going to do well. But I think every dividend payment, if it goes the way I see it going, it goes the way it should go. Every one of them would be at least your full investment back plus each time. So whether it's 2 times a year or 3 times a year, but I can't imagine us not having at least 2 dividend payments a year. So, and again, we just have to see how it works out at the end. Once we know what to expect, I'll be able to give a lot better scenario to it. Absolutely. And I'm not keeping it a secret. Hey, Brian, I look at everything. Even if I don't respond to you, I definitely look at what you send me. That would be fun. I've been to Hawaii. I've done a video on one of my things about my little adventures in Hawaii. I've never had big money either, so we're all in this together. Okay, it may have been so long since I talked about some things that I may not be. Ah, I hope you have a blast. I don't know which island you're going on, but if you go on Maui, you got to take the road to Hana, and you've got to go spend one evening in Lahaina. I hope it's still as fun as it used to be. Yeah, I don't know that you can be ready for a windfall like this. You can do your best to prepare, but when it hits your bank account, you know, it's that's when it becomes real. Yeah, it it just breaks my heart when somebody lets me know that somebody has passed that's in it, and I'm usually told by somebody that got that person in it or that person got them in it, and I don't know if none of only a few of my emails bounced when I send out that email, which I expected a lot more. And it's only because those few people had changed the email. So I texted anybody that their email bounced. Texted them, they texted me back with the correct email, and but nobody bounced back that uh, didn't respond. So I'm hoping everything is good with everybody now. I pray everything is good with everybody now. And that's yeah, we've got to have those two at the helm. I think you're right. That could be it. Uh, I'm waiting on Trump too. Yep, it's there's going to be crooked stuff. They claim that that's why they need so much regulation on crypto and all this. It's You're not going to stop uh, the illegal money from being transferred from one to the other. You're not. No government is good at keeping it at bay because they figure out a new way to do it, and it takes you years to ever catch on to what they're doing. Just like crypto, when Bitcoin started, it was in the black market. Oh man, so many drugs were bought and sold, and so yeah, it takes them a while to catch up. I hope with Bitcoin machines. Ah, I, give me 1 sec here. He's saying check my phone. If it's a message, then uh, I don't know how to. In this, I can't do that. If you want to, bear with me just 1 second. I don't know if he has a. And I am sending this to your Telegram. You know who I'm talking to. Well, you're not there. I apologize, folks. We're going to end this pretty quick anyway. But evidently, I'm missing a question. Uh, Yeah, I apologize. I can't do all this at once. All right. Yeah, without a doubt, all the time. I'm going to try to just see where the questions are and try to get those questions answered. Do you still have extra invested there? If so, if we buy more, we get them right away. Absolutely. I will always have extra there unless some influx. But like I said, there's we don't do that many blocks at all like we used to do. So yeah, and if it gets really really close, I'll send funds faster than I'm thinking I need to. But right now, yeah, it's extremely extremely slow. Is this recorded? I'm late to the call. Yeah, but I don't think you missed much. I just uh, let's see here. It's if something were to happen to me, probably not very long, a year or two, three. They may choose to do it longer, but I have left that open to the two that are going to take over. I don't see why they would short it, but to me, I would like at least 5 to 10 years worth. But then we have to slowly sell off our stocks. Uh, then you're talking a massive final payday because now you're talking billions that are going to be distributed to 13 to 14,000 blocks. So I would like to see the dividends continued. I've given them what I want, but I can't make a requirement of it because they could just override that anyway. But yeah, minimum of 5 years. I'd like to see at least 10. And depending on what's going on, we may go further. I think if enough people said, "Hey, I'm done with all this. Can we just," or we get very many that say they want out, then it may be best just to wind it down, sell off, and get everybody their money. And by then, yeah, we got to play it by ear. I don't want to speculate or say any absolute because I don't know that I can stick with an absolute. All of his lives. Yeah, too much of my life is out there. And Helen, you won't anyway. You'll give it to your mission, and you know you will. But at least you would have it to give to them. Oh, in Malawi. Absolutely. Or even if you've got a specific charity, uh, if you have a beneficiary set up, if you've got a favorite charity and you want to leave it to them, and you know that charity's taken care of. You can do a beneficiary any way you want. You can have half go to you got one child. Well, if you've got millions coming in, does he really need millions? She really need millions. I mean, you could do half to that child, half to the charity of your choice, or two charities, or 90% to your child, 10%. A beneficiary is 100% your wishes. So whatever that is, yeah, if you're not keeping up with Helen on Facebook, I think you should. She's inspiring, and the group she's with does some amazing stuff. And I've been asked some weird questions, like why widows? What if this guy over here needs to help? What if this woman over here? What if this family? It's not. I'm not locking myself into only helping widows. That is my primary goal. Is to go in. Couple's been married 35, 45 years, 50 years, and they've been on fixed income for 30 years. Chances are, between having to buy food and drugs and take care of each other, they've let the house go. And let's say the husband passes. Now this widow is here. She's got to move because she has no recourse. She cannot fix the house up. Now she's lost a chunk of her income. The weight of the loss is bad enough. Now she's got to think, what am I going to do? Where we can step in, look what you need, tell us what you need. You need a new roof? Great. We can do that. You need this over here done. You need this done. We may put $30,000, $40,000 into a $50,000 house. And we'll do it because her heart has been in that home. They've been there 40 years. That is her. She is that house. It, I don't know how to go about stressing, but why would she be forced? They've managed their whole life. Yeah, they let it go because of the cost of prescription drugs being so high, and our dirty selfish government giving you this little stipend after you've worked all your life while they pay themselves $200,000 a year, but you're not good enough for that. So you're scraping by. There's so many out there that barely get by month to month. Some aren't even really getting by, and they choose between food and eating. I mean, between food and the drugs that they need to survive. It shouldn't be a constant battle. It's sickening at the greed and corruption we have in this country. And if you don't think there's greed and corruption, your head is in the sand. But they give you just enough to keep you dependent on them. Well, we can go in and make a difference for that widow, one widow at a time. I don't know how many we're going to be able to help. I don't know how much money is going to be there for them, but I'm going to take them one at a time, and we're going to help them get that quality of life that they deserve, to get them their dignity back. The house could be falling apart, but it's her house. She's been there all her life. She does not want to move. And if she's got a few years left in her, then she should be in a house that she loves. She should be in the house where she raised her family. And we're going to try to help them do that. And there's going to be other widows that need help but don't have that tie to a specific place. And we're going to help them as well. We may help a lot more with minor needs than some that need the major stuff. But either way, we're going to help widows. That's our primary goal, but it's not 100% what we have to do. I've already decided I wanted to help Helen, and we'll get together. A group of us will get together. It'll be an open group, and we may set it up at the party that we have once the dinar has changed value. Uh, we're going to set up and say, look, as a group, I can do so many things with my windfall. You can do certain things with your windfall. But if we collectively get together and decide as a group, hey, what do we want to do? We could put together this much money and do some good with it. It could be for anything. But yeah, we'll do it as a group. And people want in or out of the group, hey, that's cool. But I think we'll continue annually to do something positive and make a much bigger impact on for good. Yeah, there's going to be so many people we can help. That's the most exciting part of all this. All right, I'm going to try to end this pretty quick here. How long will you keep Woolard Enterprise running after the RV? Also, what happens to investors? Will we still receive dividends? Okay, kind of covered it. I'm going to keep it going as pretty much as long as I can. Uh, I'd like to at least 10 more years after the RV. There's no way to guesstimate. That's my plan, but anything could happen. If we decide that enough is enough, if we get enough feedback from the investors, there's 648 of us. If a majority say, hey, it's time, just cash it out, let's be done, then we would have to strongly consider that. You're going to have a say somewhat in what our plans are if something happens to me. I don't know how many years. I may not have tomorrow. So if something happened to me, then the ones taking this over would also have to make that decision. They aren't closing before there's a rate change. I can assure you that. And they're going to see some dividends come in. So how long they do it is going to be up to them. We spent and have Woolard Enterprise for a number of years, or yeah, same thing. Yeah, 10. I would. That's my goal. I mean, I just set that. I don't know if it'll be 9 or 12 or as long as we're getting funds coming back. I don't know why we would stop. Doubtful we'll use ADP. I will probably send electronic checks, and the more I go to that expense, I mean, they aren't cheap, and the issues that we have setting everything up. Uh, there's just so much tied into that if we can just do we can do it a lot faster if we send electronic checks. And I'm going to weigh the options when the time forces me to make that decision. But right now, I'm leaning toward electronic checks. Yeah, Helen, it's a lot to absorb if you're not used to it. It takes some figuring out for sure. Okay. If you scroll, no, it's on jirehtoken.com, JIREH token.com. If you scroll down, it it's a horrible video, but it kind of takes you through getting the all the steps initially when we first got the token. It takes you through every step of buying dinar or buying Jira token. All right, go and go. I think we're almost to the end here. That was where my focus was. I wanted to purchase a minimum of, I think it was 100 acres, and develop it and put up just thousands of tiny homes. And the more discussions I had with different people, the resources, what about water? What about the power? What about this? What about this? You got to put in all the utilities, the roads. And I'm thinking, man, you could spend millions before you ever even get anybody into a property. And just different things led. And I think God is pushing me to the to helping the widows. And you don't second guess, but I don't know that there isn't somebody he knows that's going to need specific help, and he's already 3, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So I don't know how all that weaves, but I just got a feeling that I am going in this direction for a reason. Herbal International Real Estate. If it's a stock, then we could definitely take a look. I won't use any funds from Woolard Enterprises for anything other than the Iraqi Stock Exchange. That was my promise when I started this, and I will not change that. So if it's other investments, maybe I do it outside. When I say Woolard Enterprise, I'm talking about what you guys give me to invest. Everything that you give me to invest. Woolard Enterprises is a trust. And while I do other businesses through that trust, I could do something over there. But I'm more interested in there's plenty here that can that I can make a difference with and make a profit from to support what I want to do elsewhere. So I doubt I would ever invest in anything else in Iraq personally, but as a group in this particular investment group, we will never invest in anything other than the Iraqi Stock Exchange, and I'm not ever going to break that promise. Yeah, XRP is 100%. Now, whether they come up with something down the road, crypto wise, or the blockchain and the development and the things happening are phenomenally changing almost by the day. Uh, we don't know what the future holds, but right now and in the foreseeable future, XRP is the bank's choice. I mean, you can look them up. They're still involved in the lawsuit. They will win it, without a doubt. They are going to win, but they haven't stopped. They haven't really slowed down doing the businesses and the transaction with all the banks internationally that they're working with. They've never slowed that part of their system down, and they've continued to grow in spite of the actual token. I mean, XRP is a token under the Ripple network. So, and if you're not into crypto, I've had Ripple for, well, in December it's been locked up for 2 years because Coinbase is a coward and they won't trade it. But probably part of the reason they're having so many issues that they're having, and had to bring on BlackRock. But the token is kind of a separate thing from the actual business. I mean, there's a lot to it, but yeah, XRP, if you have any chance of buying it, I think it's 35, 36, 37 cents, 38, it's staying in that 30+ cent range. And yeah, I've had thousands of shares or thousands of tokens locked up for December. It'll be 2 years. And yeah, it's 30 cents now, easy a $10 token in the near future. I would recommend, if you can load up on XRP, grab all you can grab. There you go. Glad you got some XRP. So I think, and apparently I may have missed a question, so I apologize. If I didn't answer your question, you want to throw it in here real quick. I think website is woolardent.com. Trying to see what I might have possibly missed. I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you or avoiding. Said something about how many have won out after the RV. There's going to be some. They should have just bought dinar and could have changed it that way a lot easier. But they're actually going to end up with less, because we are only giving them 75% of the value. And if the dinar is valued at $1, and they're going to lose money on that deal. This was intended to keep you invested. I completely understand when hard times hit or disaster strikes. I mean, there's reasons that things do happen. Yeah, I can't see where I've missed anything. So, guys, I've kept you for an hour and a half. I apologize for being so long-winded. Those of you that know me aren't shocked at all. But anyway, I guess we'll cut this. Oh, can you do a class on getting a wallet and purchasing crypto? I don't know about a class, but there is a video on gyratoken.com. You can scroll down, and our contract address is you know what? Let's see. Give me 1 second here. I just don't understand why all the windows aren't coming open. So I have way too many windows open. All there is to it. Okay, so let me bounce here. I just pulled it up and it's still not showing. That's amazing. Okay, I apologize, but what I was going to do is take you to our Gyra token page. I'll be happy to help anybody. Yeah, here it is. All right. Okay. Whoa, wrong one. Well, that'll get you dizzy, won't it? All right. Let's see. Okay. But there is a video on there that will show you the uh, the process to buying to buy the to first initial how to get the wallet, how to get the BNB, and then how to turn around and purchase Gyro token with it. Now it's more steps than you need because on the site now, if you can get the wallet and you can get BNB into your wallet, you can now click the buy button on the bottom of the website. I don't know if it floats, but you can click the buy button. You can open your wallet and buy it directly on the website. You don't have to go through Pancake Swap anymore. But those instructions are still part of that video. But it's me trying to explain in my weird way of explaining things. All right, so I get that's about it, guys. I may not have answered all your questions. If you have any, you're welcome to email me, and if I'll try to keep a list. We'll do this once a month, and I'll keep it much shorter because there's not certain things that I need to go over. I don't need to beat anybody over the head with some of this stuff. We'll just give you where we're at, and then we'll answer questions. We'll keep it a lot shorter in the future. All right, let me see what. I could do a Zoom and show people that are interested in Gyro token how to do that, and I will look into something like that and show you. Next time I'll be much more prepared with all of this. Like I said, this is all new to me, live streaming, and there's too many places to go to try to do different things, and we made it through. All right, everybody, thank you all so much. And again, I'm here and willing to help in any way I can, whether it's Woolard Enterprises and investing in the dinar, the stock exchange, or crypto. I'm trying to take care of both. I've got goals in mind that I want to get accomplished, and I hope the person that told me that it's all going to happen at once is right. And I'm ready. I know y'all are ready too. There's nobody that isn't tired of waiting for this. So with that, I will say good night. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to join us in Telegram, at Gyro Token, Twitter, at Gyro Token. You can DM me with any questions. You can send me an email. Most of you have my phone number. If you're going to call and you haven't called me before, make sure you probably want to text me first. Say, hey, I'm going to call. I can put your number in I can make you a contact because my phone won't ring if you're not in my contacts. So if you've been trying to call, and there's a ton of them, I don't know if it's any of you, but I don't know that you're calling because my phone just doesn't even ring. So let me know that you're going to call. I'll get your contact set up. I'll talk to anybody about any questions you may have. There's many, many ways to get in touch with me. So we're going to leave it at that. Thank you all so much. I hope I didn't wear you out, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.